It's been a long time since I've done a question and answer, so we're going to do that tonight. But I need to finish up how my day went yesterday. Well, at 8 o'clock late last night, our provider showed up to the house and he told me some good news and bad news. That wire that was really concerning, well, that turned out to be a MediaCom wire. So we don't use MediaCom, so it's no longer functional for us, so he got rid of the wire. However, the main wire that houses the internet, the TV, and the home phone, well, it needs to be rehung. It turns out it never should have been hung to the pole in the first place. They should have buried it, but since they did, they've got to come out and redo it because it's not around the anchor to the house, and if even if they do it, it could fly away. And he said then they'd have to really bury it. So it's like a big mixed up mess up situation, but they're going to hopefully do it, knock on wood, when I call them hopefully on Monday and schedule for them to come out on Thursday. That's how the rest of the whole wire situation went. We got some more of the apple tree done thanks to Rory, Mackenzie, my mom, and Penny. Um, and when Consolidated comes out, there's a little bit more that I'm going to ask them to do, and hopefully they'll be kind enough to do that. We'll just have to wait and see, but I am grateful and thankful for all that they have done today. I'm going to probably also have to contact, they told me to get a hold of the garbage department, but the garbage department won't pick up limbs. So I'm probably going to have to call a tree people and of some sort and see what they can do. Now, I've been checking my email. You all have been asking some questions since I've advertised my email address, and I have got the answers for you. So I've written them down, some on paper, some I've used the notes on my phone, and they have emailed my personal home account for email with these questions. Great questions, by the way. And we're going to start with this one. Dear Bombshell, I seen the picture of your morning glories today, and it looks wonderful. I know you said your grandmother would always plant morning glories. Do you think that flowers are better outside or in a vase, decorating the inside? Inside, I love to use fake flowers for a lot of reasons. I have usually animals that are young, and when you have inside animals, they love to chew on things. And even with fake flowers, there's no guarantee they won't chew on it, but I think that natural flowers belong outdoors. There's a great tribute to my grandma that my grandpa always did, and he would never buy her a rose, and I never quite understood why. And every time I would bring that up to him, and he says, she's got 4 rose bushes along the side of the house. If she wants roses, she can go outside and smell them. And so when she was not hardly able to get around, she would sit in the chair by the window, and she would always stare out at her rose bushes. So that was something that always was touching, that the rose bushes was always there. Oh, this is a good one. Dear Bombshell, we know that you are trying to conquer the paying for it dance. Has that happened yet? I can do the fancy like dance, but the paying for it dance, I'm working on it. Somebody asked, when am I going to put that on YouTube, or when am I going to get a TikTok? Very good question. I don't have a TikTok because I have a very old, it's new to me because it was brand new a couple years ago, but there's not much memory on it. So I can't do TikTok because I don't have much memory on my phone. I would love to do that. I think that would be awesome. Will you see a YouTube video of it? I don't know. Again, I'm having to fight with my phone memory thing, so we're just going to have to wait and see. Oh, I love this one. Dear Bombshell, if you could be cast on a Hallmark movie with a Hallmark hunk, who would be your top 3 picks? I love Andrew Walker, so he would be number 3. Number 2 would have to be that, Mark Declan. I love him dearly. He's just got it going on. And of course, number 1 is Ryan Pavey. So that's who my top 3 hunks would be to be in a Hallmark movie. Dear Bombshell, if you had the chance to meet an author, who would you choose and why? That is tough. It would have to be a tie between Linda L. Miller Lori Wilde, Carolyn Brown, and Maisie Yates. Maisie, though, and Lori Wilde are my two, and of course Carolyn Brown are my top three that I ultimately would just love to meet and say, how do you come up with the stories that you come up with? Have you lived them, or have you experienced it in real life? But some of your stories are just so real life, and it just makes you wonder, how did they come up with that? Oh, this is a good question. Is everyone in your family a St. Louis Cardinal fan? No. We have my cousin Nicole, who is a Cub fan. We have my cousin Robin. She's a Cub fan. My great aunt Doris is a Cub fan. And there was some on my biological dad's side, like late Juanita. She was I want to say Cub fan, and Chick was a Cardinal fan. Help me if I hope I didn't get that wrong, but I believe that's how that went. My niece Mackenzie has always been a St. Louis Cardinal fan. I, deep down, have always been a St. Louis Cardinal fan because Grandpa is and everybody else is, but it's just like, I can say everybody else is, but I would say a few members like the Cubs. So, there you go. And at one time, when I was in a relationship with number 2, he was a Cub fan, so I had a Cub jersey on at one point and took pictures of that jersey, and then I think I ended up giving him the jersey. Anyway, Dear Bombshell, what are some similar yet different similarities between Sonic and Heathcliff? Similar is they both like to be out of their playpen, yet different, I would say, their muse. Sonic is more of a mature Mew, where Heathcliff, he doesn't have that yet. There's a little bit of Sonic being more mature, where I would say Heathcliff is still maturing as a kitten and growing into it. So, and you know me, I don't want to see them grow up too fast because they're my babies. This is your first time at being a 2-cat owner. How is it different than being a 1-cat owner? Good question. Being a 1-cat owner, you don't have to have eyes in the back of your head. With 2 cats, you have to always be like, okay, listening for sounds and looking around and going, okay, where are they at? What are they doing? More so, I think, than a 1-cat. Also, you have to be concerned about how they're getting along with the dog and the environment. But at the same time, they are their own little kitties, and I just love them both dearly. I would say there's not too much difference except for keeping up with them. I am older, so it's a little harder to keep up with both of them. Dear Bombshell, you do enjoy your book reviews and your magazine sharing, but which one do you enjoy more and why? Ooh, I love that one. I would say it depends on the book. Sometimes if it gets a high-ranking book and it's really that good that I want to come on here, share tidbits, and give you what I think of it, then yeah, I'm going to enjoy the book more. If it's magazines, again, it's like the content. Is there enough content to share with you to really enjoy it? Okay. Oh, I love this one. Dear Bombshell, you compared yourself recently to Allie the bunny, and when she was with Braxton, she's still with Braxton Sutter, by the way, question person, on Impact Wrestling, where they had the moment where she tells Braxton that, after Braxton tells her that they need space, that she tells Braxton that she's socially awkward. In what ways, and you've mentioned that being you're socially awkward, in what ways do you feel that you are just like Allie, and in what ways would you say you're different? I would say socially awkwardness. I was very sheltered growing up. I would say that. I would say that I don't always say the right thing, or it might be taken the wrong way because of that. So therefore, I am socially awkward. How am I different than Allie? Um, well, I would say at the end of the Impact Wrestling thing, she stood up to Miss Maria, if you remember the storyline, and she told Miss Maria that she was not. Uh, she just stood up to Miss Maria and ended up being with Braxton, and Braxton chose her instead of someone else. And I think being socially awkward, sometimes that makes you your own worst enemy. And sometimes that has happened to me. There's been times that I've felt like I can't convey or can't express myself properly. And, I was biologically an only child. Um, and until I was older, and then I had more family. I hate the word step, so I'm not going to say step family, but I had more family, let's just put it that way. But that family never lived with me as a one-on-one. Like, we didn't, the Brady Bunch, how they had a blended family, you saw everybody together in the same house. We didn't have that. So, I think that hurt me as well. My old-fashionedness, because I was brought up in a more mature household, I think hurt me as well. Um, so that's how I'm socially awkward. Okay, moving forward, we got some questions that I have now on my cell phone. Your favorite St. Louis Cardinal player and your least favorite St. Louis Cardinal player. How did you know that I watched tonight and we won? Raise the roof. There was a couple of calls that I didn't agree with, especially that one call where Molina had clearly thrown to the second base, and that guy, to me, was not on base. I'm sorry, he was not safe whatsoever. That umpire was wrong. If you ask two of my family members, I know their favorite player is Molina, and they are thrilled that he has signed on for another year. I think Molina's great, but he's not my favorite. For those of you who are my Facebook friend, you already know the answer to this one. 46, Paul Goldschmidt. Yes, he's my favorite. My least favorite would have to be Mr. Ego himself. He thinks highly of himself, and he's young and he's egotistical, and that would be Bader. I know there's a lot of Bader fans, but I'm sorry, he's not my favorite. Okay, how is Peanut getting along with the two kittens instead of just one cat? Great question. Peanut is slow to adjust. He is used to being the baby, so he's not quite gotten to the, oh, great, I have two new housemates. He's slowly adjusting. Have you ever talked to someone's photo? If so, can you share any details of that conversation? um, yes, I have talked to someone's photo. I'm not going to say who. Will I want to share the details of that conversation? No, I think that if, I'm giving things to God, and if it's meant to be, it'll be, and if not, it's fine. But um, yes, I think we all have people in our life that is either here or has passed on, and we feel at that moment we need either guidance from that person who's passed on, or we feel like we're not being listened to, so therefore we feel like it's easier to talk to a photo sometimes than it is the actual person. So yes, I don't know of anyone who would really say no to that question, especially if they're socially awkward. I have to go back to that. Um, but honestly, yes, I have. Um, sometimes, and it's so easy to talk to something that doesn't talk back. It's just like a headstone or a gravestone. You can sit there and have a conversation all day, but you're not making any difference to anyone, and you just hope to God that you're being heard, but probably not. So that's where I'm going with that. Is it sad? Well, some might declare it sad, but sometimes it's the only way to convey your thoughts and your feelings when you feel like you're not being listened to. Okay, well, with that being said, we've got some books queued up over here. Let's finish The Woman's World. I got The Pioneer Woman in the mail today. I also got Celebrate with Woman's World, which is all about Halloween and Thanksgiving, and the First for Women magazine, and I've got to get through all of these magazines tonight because we're doing magazine drop-off tomorrow. So stay tuned. God bless. Thank you for tuning in. And somebody did ask, does it bother me that the critic is back? You know, I find it odd. There for a while, the critic has went on vacation, because if you go back about August 10th and August 8th, yes, I do look at all these viewings of you guys liking and disliking. There was no dislike on those, but all of a sudden, back again to dislike. All I can say is I live the best possible life that I can live now. I try not to bother anybody or be an inconvenience to anybody. And if you don't like what I have to say, why are you watching? That would be my question to you. But don't watch. If it bothers you, just don't tune in. I wish everyone the best, and let's do the magazines next. God bless.